Staples Center. Lin puts it up. Bang! Jeremy Lin from downtown, and the Knicks take the lead.
Seeing this shot reminds me how amazing Linsanity was back in the day. But how did Jeremy Lin actually get there? And where is he now? In today's video, we're going to go over just that. We're going to go over how Jeremy Lin got to the NBA and his rise to fame. All the struggles he had to go with, all the ups and the downs, everything. To start off, Jeremy Lin didn't look like he was going to be anything in high school. As a freshman, he was 5'3" and 120 pounds. Not someone that looks like he's going to be a star in the NBA. But, against all odds, he would lead his team to the state championship his senior year. The Palo Alto Vikings would match up against the modern-day Monarchs. The big deal in this game was that the Monarchs were ranked 6th nationally. Everyone was saying, how are you going to score? How are you going to rebound? How are you going to do anything against this team? They are way better than you and way taller than you. I mean, when you have 6 players over the size of 6'6" in high school, that's just dominance. Let's listen to see what Jeremy Lin and his coach had to say about this game.
The whole week leading up to the game, it was just like, how are we going to get a rebound? How are we going to be able to play?
I remember walking around campus and there were all these reporters and they'd be like, oh, you think you can win? Like, how are you going to beat them? And everyone was asking me, my friends were asking me. By the end, they were like, you think you could beat them? I was like, man, just come to the game and watch.
And come to watch, they did. Jeremy Lin put on a dazzling performance with 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. Now, this doesn't seem like a lot, but when you factor in that the whole team had 51 points combined, that's a lot of points. He even had this clutch bucket late in the fourth quarter to seal the victory.
When the game was on the line, he took over.
4 seconds on the shot clock, and Lin is going to have to launch a 25-footer. And baked it in!
Despite winning a state championship and being the best player on the best team in California, and being named first team All-California, Jeremy Lin did not have any college offers. He didn't have an offer from Duke, he didn't have an offer from UNC, none of the powerhouses wanted him to be on the team. And sad to say this, but if Jeremy Lin were black, he would have got those offers. Jeremy Lin has said it in his life, if he weren't an Asian American, he would have offers to go to any school he wanted to. But instead, because of his 4.2 GPA, he ended up deciding to go to Harvard. Not because he wanted to, but because he was forced to. It would be the same road for Jeremy. He would have an amazing career at Harvard and turn heads, and do really well. Jeremy ended up doing things like averaging 16.4 points his senior season, was a unanimous selection for the All-Ivy League first team, was one of 30 midseason candidates for the John R. Wooden Award, and one of 11 finalists for the Bob Cousy Award. Even after having a 30-point game and grabbing 9 rebounds against Kemba Walker and the Connecticut Huskies, Jim Calhoun ended up saying this about Jeremy. I've seen a lot of teams come through here, and he can play for any of them. He's got great composure on the court. He knows how to play. Even with all this, and everyone saying good things about Jeremy, you would think he would be a shoo-in for the NBA draft. You know, someone that becomes a household name. Someone that's in the NBA for a long time. But unfortunately, this is not what happened. No team chose Jeremy Lin in the 2010 NBA draft. Scouts said this about Jeremy. He was a smart passer with a flawed jump shot and a thin frame, who might not have the strength and athleticism to defend, create his own shot, or finish at the rim in the NBA. Even though no team selected him in the draft, Jeremy Lin was still given a chance by the Dallas Mavericks. Donnie Nelson of the Mavericks was the only general manager who offered him an invitation to play in the Summer League. Lin had this to say about Donnie. Donnie took care of me. He has a different type of vision than most people do. And in the Summer League games, while playing both guard positions, Lin averaged 9.8 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 1.8 assists. This good play in the Summer League allowed Jeremy Lin to have offers from the Mavericks, the Lakers, and the Golden State Warriors, of which he chose to sign a 2-year deal with the Golden State Warriors. Jeremy Lin wouldn't play much. He would get an end of a game here and there, more in cleanup times the times he would play. This would lead to the Warriors eventually waiving Jeremy Lin the next year. But it would lead to an opportunity that Jeremy Lin wouldn't see coming. The New York Knicks ended up waiving one of their best guards, Chauncey Billups, for cap space to sign Tyson Chandler. Later in the season, Iman Shumpert would also get injured. With the lack of guards on the team, Jeremy Lin ended up coming in to fill that role. No one thought he would be anything special, but just someone that would fill the role for the time being. But that was far from what happened. In his first significant game against the Nets, let's watch a little bit and see what happened. As Jeremy Lin not normally is, he was the first point guard off the bench this day. I mean, he was even sleeping on Landry Field's couch, not thinking he was going to be on the contract for very long. But overall, he would come up with a quick bucket to start the game, and then he would pickpocket Darren Williams and throw it up to Tony Douglas for a lay-in. This would be the start of what would be known as Linsanity. The few weeks of where Jeremy Lin torched everyone in the NBA. The few weeks where everyone knew his name. The few weeks where he did things like this, or like this to Derek Fisher, or even this play, which we saw earlier against the Toronto Raptors to win the game. Jeremy became a cultural phenomenon. Everyone was wearing his jerseys. Everyone was trying to support him. In Canada, in New York, wherever he went. There were nicknames like Super Nintendo, or Linmania, or even the original Linsanity. It was called Linsanity because this was crazy. Never before have a bench warmer gone to a star so quickly. Jeremy Lin was taking the NBA by storm. Everyone wanted to be him. Everyone wanted to know his name. It was just crazy. During Linsanity, Jeremy Lin led the Knicks to 7 consecutive wins and scored 136 points in his first 5 starts, the most by any player since the NBA and ABA merger in 1976. This is when things got a little dicey. Carmelo Anthony started getting jealous of Jeremy Lin and him being in the spotlight. The Knicks were supposed to be his team, New York City was supposed to be his city, but Jeremy Lin was getting that spotlight. Amari Stoudemire had this to say about how Carmelo felt about Jeremy Lin. Feel free to pause the video and read the rest of this quote, but basically Amari Stoudemire said that Jeremy was becoming a big star, and he didn't think everyone was pleased with that, referring to Carmelo. So basically, Jeremy Lin was kicked off the Knicks because Carmelo wanted him out. Carmelo wanted the spotlight. The next few seasons will be a bit rocky for Jeremy Lin. He would next sign a 2-year deal with the Rockets after having been bounced out of the Knicks by Carmelo Anthony. He wasn't bad, but he was nothing special. He was just an average player for the Rockets. There, he averaged 13.4 points in his first season and 12.5 points in his second season. As we know, this isn't bad, but this isn't good either. It's just average for the NBA. Jeremy Lin is just an average player now. Linsanity was over. He would later play with the Lakers, and he would also play with the Hornets and the Nets. In his last season in the NBA, 2018 to 2019, he started off with the Hawks, but would finish off with the Raptors, where he actually won a championship. The first ever Asian American to win a championship in the NBA. I think it's amazing that Jeremy can inspire so many young athletes. So many Asian Americans have probably started the game because of Jeremy. So many young athletes are going to come because of him. So in the end, Jeremy Lin became a bit of a journeyman in the NBA. Bouncing from team to team, not really staying on a team long enough to do anything, getting minutes in the end of the game, and it's sad, because Jeremy Lin has so much talent to give. That is why, when he ended his time with the Toronto Raptors, he decided to join the CBA this year and sign with the Beijing Ducks. There, he's taking the league by storm. He is probably one of the best players in the league, and is probably going to be an all-star this year. Jeremy Lin is averaging 22.3 points, 5.6 assists, 5.7 rebounds, and 1.8 steals. Yes, this isn't China, and we all know it's a lower league than the NBA, but it's still the 3rd best league in the world in my opinion. Jeremy Lin is still currently only 31 years old. He still has time to be in the NBA. He still has time to get better. Let me know in the comment section below if you think Jeremy Lin will ever get back on an NBA team. We want to see him there. I want to see him there. We want Linsanity back in the NBA. Even though it was short-lived, I would say Jeremy Lin was a star in the NBA, even if it was for just a little bit. As always, remember, this is just my opinion. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm Hoop Rat.